So we are going with second order differential equation, students. Okay, so we know what is order and what is the degree, right? So we are going with second order differential equation. Okay, now any second order linear differential equation, let us see how it is. Okay, if I consider linear differential equation, if I consider linear differential equation of second order, we consider linear differential equation of second order, how can it be written? Okay, it can be written in general as y double dash, okay, plus p of x into y dash plus q of x into y is equal to r of x. This is the general way of writing the second order linear differential equation. Let us put that as equation 1, which is a general form. Okay, this is a general form of linear second order differential equation. Fine. Now if r of x is equal to 0, if r of x is equal to 0, then y double dash plus p of x y dash plus q of x y is equal to 0. This I will say equation number 2 is a homogeneous differential equation. It is a homogeneous differential equation. Now do not get confused between homogeneous function, which is algebraic function, and homogeneous differential equation. Okay, so here what has happened, this homogeneous differential equation means the right hand side goes to 0. Okay, so y double dash plus p of x y dash plus q of x y is equal to 0. Okay, else if r of x is not equal to 0, equation 1 is a non-homogeneous differential equation. It is a non-homogeneous differential equation. It is a non-homogeneous differential equation. I hope it is clear, student. This is about the definitions. Okay, now let us understand some more things about it. This is a simple one, done. Okay, you write this down, students. You see, this is linear, right? P of x can be anything. P of x can be sin x, cos x, or anything, until the first differential or the second differential has a degree 1, then it is linear. If I had y square here, it would have been non-linear. If there was y dash square, non-linear. Y dash double dash square, non-linear. Y dash into y double dash, non-linear. Y into y double dash, non-linear. So this way you have to understand. Okay, fine, students. Have you written this down? Next, let us go. Now you have to write it fast as I.
So one moment.
Yes. Yes. Please take your time. No, not now. Next one, which is very easy. Okay, you will understand. Okay.
Done, sir.
Done. Fine. Okay. So now let us do some things. Okay. Now first of all, let us understand. We know what is a solution, right? We know what is the solution of a differential equation. Let us take a differential equation. Example. We will take example 1. The example 1 goes like this. If I have y double dash minus y is equal to 0. This is a differential equation. Let us check whether e power x is a solution. Let us check whether e power x is a solution. Now if you consider e power x is a solution means y is equal to e power x. Let us have that. Y is equal to e power x is a solution. Now when you say e power x, y double dash, y is equal to e power x. So y dash is equal to e power x, as well as y double dash is equal to e power x. Now substitute that back, substitute into, say, equation 1, we can have this as star 1, okay, in terms of problem 1, I will say, problem 1. Substitute in P1, what we will get? E power x minus e power x is equal to 0. So y is equal to e power x satisfies P1, and hence y is equal to e power x is a solution. Easy. What do you mean by solution? When a function satisfies the differential equation, it is a solution. Now let us check example 2, okay, or let us check another this one, okay. Let us check, this is the first one only, okay. Now first check is over, okay, A, okay. B, let us check whether e power minus x is a solution. Is e power minus x a solution, students? Try it out. What happens? Y dash is equal to minus e power minus x, correct? So y is equal to e power minus x. We are checking whether this is a solution. So y dash is equal to minus e power minus x, and y double dash is equal to e power minus x. Now when you substitute this in P1, what happens? We get e power minus x minus e power minus x is equal to 0. Therefore y is equal to e power minus x is a solution. So we have two functions which are solutions of the same differential equation, okay. Y is equal to e power x as well as y is equal to e power minus x, both are solution. So let us do our experimentation a bit further. Have you written this down, students? Write it down and let us check further, okay. Our experiments is important for us, is it not? And then we will have an inference from these things.
Sir, e power minus x plus e power minus x, it will come, sir.
E power x?
E power minus x plus e power minus x, because here minus e power minus x is there, y dash.
We are not worried about y dash, dear.
Okay.
We are substituting
yes,
y double dash, okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Once you have done, you please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us check the another part. Now these are all experimentations in the same view, okay. Let us check whether y is equal to e power x plus e power minus x is a solution of y double dash minus y is equal to 0. Tell me, students, whether it is a solution or not. So what is y dash? Y dash is e power x minus e power minus x. What is y double dash? Y double dash is e power x plus.
Sir, it is a solution.
Yes. So this satisfies, okay. So y is equal to e power x plus e power minus x satisfies, we can say, or instead of that here I can say substitute in P1. Then we have e power x plus e power x minus e power x minus e power minus x, and that is equal to 0. So This is also a solution. So what did we get, students? That if we have a okay, let us do another example. Okay, this side you have to do. Check y is equal to a, any number a, into e power x, plus b, any number b, into e power minus x, whether it's a solution or not. Check it out, students. Solution of y double dash minus y is equal to 0. Check whether this is a solution.
It is, sir.
It is a solution, correct? So now let us check another one. Okay, so it is a solution, correct? Now next, e. Okay, check y is equal to x into e power x, okay, plus e power minus x is a solution. Check this out, students. X into e power x plus e power minus x, whether it is a solution. What is y dash here? Yes,
X e power x
x e power
minus
x plus,
e power minus x.
yes, x, we have e power x, we have e power x minus plus minus e power minus x, correct? And
Minus
then y double dash would be again 2 times e power x plus x e power x minus plus e power minus x. Now when you see, when you substitute in P1, what do we get? We don't get it as 0, is it not? Y double dash is this 2 into e power x minus x into e power x. X into e power x cancels. E power minus x cancels. What remains is LHS, or LHS would be equal to what is it? 2 into e power x, which is not equal to 0. So not a solution. So not a solution, correct? So y is equal to x into e power x plus e power minus x is not a solution. Now what did we do by this, students? Let us understand. Have you written this down till here? Then we will understand what is that we have done. What is that we have achieved by doing this? Okay. Now let us see. Okay. Now initially what was there? We had y is equal to y double dash minus y is equal to 0 was a differential equation. We checked e power x, solution. Okay, we checked e power minus x, it's also a solution, correct? Then we checked e power x plus e power minus x, which is also a solution. So what is it? The addition of two solutions is also a solution, correct? When you add two solutions, it is also a solution. Okay. Next, what we did e power a into e power x plus b into e power minus x, and we saw it is also a solution. Okay. Now, next what did we do? We said x into e power x, not a constant. A and b was a constant here, x was not a constant, plus e power minus x. This was not a solution, correct? This particular thing was not a solution. Now what is the point? Okay, now it means that, see, this and these are the basic solutions. Okay, now what is this? This is called the linear combination of the solutions. For example, if y1 is a solution, if y1 and y2 are solutions of a differential equation, then you can see this is a very important theorem. Some people call it a fundamental theorem. Okay, so let us see what is the theorem. Okay, So if y1 and y2 are the solution of differential equation, then the linear combination given by y3 is equal to c1y1 plus c2y2 is also a solution. Here the only thing is that C1 and C2 has to be numbers, and when it is numbers it is called linear combination, because it is not multiplied by some x or something like that. It is linear, it's only numbers. Okay, so if there are two solutions, then the linear combination also gives the solution. Okay, that is the main thing we have done. Okay, fine.
Sir, where C1, C2 must be a constant.
Yes, should be
power.
numbers. C1
Okay.
and C2, C1 and C2 must be real numbers. That is what is called linear combination. Okay, linear combination means C1 and C2 are numbers. Okay, if it is not, it is not a solution. Okay. Tell me when you finish writing this, student. This is very important. Try to spend some time on this. This is very basics. Okay, but here one point has to be very clear. This is applicable only for homogeneous differential equation. Okay, write this down. Applicable only for homogeneous differential equation. Applicable only for homogeneous. If it is non-homogeneous, no. Applicable for homogeneous differential equation, not anything else. Homogeneous differential equation. If it is non-homogeneous, not applicable. Okay, it is applicable only for homogeneous differential equations. Is it clear, students? Fine, let us go further. Let us check whether it is not for homogeneous. Okay, non-homogeneous we will take an example and then we will see. Okay, let us take an example of, say, another example. Let us take an example of y double dash plus y is equal to 1. Okay, this is the equation. Okay, here y1 is equal to 1 plus cos x and y2 is equal to 1 plus sin x are solutions, say P2, okay, are solutions of P2. Check whether the linear combination is a solution. Linear combination of y1 and y2 are is the solution, or linear combinations of y1 and y2 are solutions. Can you check this out, students? Let us check whether y1 is equal to 1 plus cos x is a solution to this. We will see. What is y1 dash? Y1 dash is equal to 1 minus sin x, is it not? Correct? What is this one? It is y is y1 is equal to not 1 minus sin x. Okay, it is minus sin x, correct? And then what about our am I correct? Y1 is equal to minus sin x. And what is y1 dash? Y1 double dash is equal to minus cos x, correct? So now when you do that, you see, you apply this into this equation 1, what happens? Y double dash, okay, substitute in P2, what do we get? Y double dash is minus cos x, and then plus y, which is 1 plus cos x, and you will see that should be equal to 1, and it is equal to 1, correct? Because cos x cancels, so LHS is equal to RHS, so that is why it is a solution. Similarly, you can say 1 plus sin x is also a solution, but you will see that 1 plus or a into 1 plus cos x plus or y3 is equal to a into 1 plus cos x plus b into 1 plus sin x is not a solution. Is not a solution to P2. So that is important here. Why did I do this example? To say that linear combination is also a solution, is applicable only to homogeneous differential equation and not to non-homogeneous differential equation. I hope you get the point. Here what happens? At the end it is non-homogeneous. R of x is equal to 1, is it not, students? So it is a non-homogeneous differential equation. Since it's a non-homogeneous differential equation, things are not applicable. Okay, the theorem is not applicable. Is that clear, students? Okay. Next, let us see what is meant by basis of a solution. Very important. People miss this. Okay. What is basis of a solution? Basis means foundation. Okay. What is the basis? What is the base of talk? Correct? Like that. Is that clear, students? Okay. Yeah. Now let us see something called linearly independent function. Linearly independent functions. Linearly independent functions. What do you mean by linearly independent functions? Now, if y1 and y1 of x, I will say, and y2 of x are two functions. If y1 and y2 are two functions, okay, these functions are linearly independent. These functions are linearly independent if y1 by y2 is not a real number. If y1 and y2 is not a real number, then it is linearly independent. Otherwise, it is linearly dependent. Is that clear, students? So, very important, very simple one. Okay. So now here, in this case, let us check it out. Okay. So if I have, say, e power minus x, y1 is equal to e power, examples, let us take examples. Okay. E power y is equal to e power minus x and y2 is equal to e power plus 6. Are they linearly independent or not? They are, is it not? So what happens? y1 by y2 is equal to e power minus x divided by e power plus x, correct? This is equal to e power minus 2x, which is a function, not a number, correct? So this example 1, okay, y1 is equal to e power minus x and y2 is equal to e power plus x are linearly independent. Very important. Okay, two functions are linearly independent. Let us check the second one. Can you check, for example, the examples are a bit this one. Okay. Okay, let us check. Say 5x square and sine 30 x square. Are they linearly dependent or not, students? They are, is it not? They are linearly dependent, not independent, correct? And y2, because sine 30 is a number, okay? So you divide one by the other, you get a number, okay? So since you get a number, it is linearly dependent, okay? These two functions are linearly dependent, okay? So these are the things we have to understand, what is meant by linear dependent and linear independence. Another thing we have seen is linear combination of two functions, linear combination of two functions and linearly independent functions. Fine. Next point is what is meant by basis solutions, okay? So basis solutions, okay? So we will say this is basis of solutions, basis of solutions, or basis of general solutions, basis of general solutions for a homogeneous differential equations, for a homogeneous differential equation, for a homogeneous differential equation, basis of general solution, okay? Now if I say y1, okay, say a particular this one, like let me have it like this, okay? Let us consider differential equation, okay? Y double dash plus p y dash plus q y is equal to 0, correct? This is a homogeneous differential equation, correct? Now if y1 and y2 are solutions of this equation number 2, we are using the same equation, okay? What did we use here? We used it as 2, the same equation I am producing here, okay? So if I have equation number 2 where p and q are functions of x, okay? So y1 and y2 are solutions of 2, and if y1 and y2 are solution of 2 and y1 and y2 are linearly independent, then the general solution of the differential equation, can be written as y is equal to c1 into y1 plus c2 into y2, okay? Now this is what? This is general solution. I can say general solution, okay? y1 and y2 forms the basis of general solution. I hope you get that part. What is meant by basis? Basis means these y1 and y2 which are linearly independent functions, okay, which are solution to a differential equation. Linear combination of these linearly independent solutions will give a general solution, okay, where c1 and c2 has to be found out using the initial value or boundary value, okay? So this is constant, okay? It can be either initial value problem or the boundary value problem. I hope you get the point, students. Any doubts here? These are very, very basics, okay? Yeah, let it sink in for a few minutes. Go back, see how we have done this. I hope you get the basis now. Okay. Now, for a same differential equation, general solution can be formed from two different set of bases. Okay, it need not be one only. Okay, two combination. Okay, I'll elaborate that later on. Fine. Now, next one. Okay, sometimes what happens, by trial and error we will be able to find out one solutions. Now, how to find out another solution of a differential equation given one solution? Okay, let us check it out. Okay, so let us see how to obtain a basis. How to obtain a basis if one solution is known. One solution is known. Okay, so how to obtain basis if one solution.
Sir, that top part is not visible, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Just a second. Let me solve this problem. From here it's visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how to obtain, till where it is visible? Till here it is visible? This is visible, this line is visible?
Yes, sir. That
Yes,
is
sir.
This one?
That
Yes,
was,
sir.
yes, that is the maximum.
That is the maximum.
And-
Thank you very much. Okay. Fine. You are seeing in the mobile phone, I suppose, is it not? Fine. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Don't worry.
It's the same. No, it's the same for laptop also, sir. Full screen it goes a bit up.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry then. Then I'll see that I'll not write on the top. Okay. How to obtain a basis if one solution is known. Okay. This method, there are a lot of methods. This method is called reduction. This method is called reduction of order method. Okay. We are seeing the reduction of order. Okay. Let us take a differential equation. Okay. Let us take a differential equation given as y double dash plus say y p into y dash plus the general this one. Okay, p in q into y is equal to 0. Okay, this is the equation number 2. Okay, let y1 be a solution. Let y1 be a solution of 2. Let y1 be a solution of 2. Okay, how to find out y2 is the question. Okay, now we know if y2 has to be got, y2 should not be a linear combination. Correct? It should be some function into linear combination. Correct? Function into y1. So since y1 must be linearly independent, of y2, y2 can be equal to u of x. Okay, u of x means u is a function, u of x into y1. Okay, so here since u is a function of x, okay, y2 is linearly independent of y1 and it helps us to form the basis. Correct? So y2 if it is known, y1 if it is known, we can find out y2 as some function. What function we will see. Okay, write this down, students. Next, this one we will go. So now the purpose, what we have reduced the purpose to find out u of x. Okay, let us do that. Okay, Fine, students? Tell me when you have finished writing. Write it slowly, neatly. And understand. Okay, I'll give any number of pauses. No problem for me. So let me go further. Okay, what did I do? From the first we will see first of all. So first what did we do? We saw what is linear differential equation of the second order. Okay, we saw its non-homogeneous general form and the homogeneous form. Then we checked an example saying that y is equal to e power x was a solution to that particular equation P1. Y is equal to minus x was a solution. Linear combination of this was solution. When it was not a linear combination, then it was not a solution. Okay. So next what this we summarized, we said if y1 and y2 are solutions of a differential equation, then the linear combination given by y3 is equal to c1 y1 plus c2 y2 is also a solution, provided it is a homogeneous differential equation. If it is not a homogeneous differential equation, this particular theorem is not applicable. Okay. Now we checked for an example also here, where y double dash plus y is equal to 1 was a non-homogeneous differential equation, for which y1 is equal to 1 plus cos x and y2 is equal to 1 minus sin x, 1 plus sin x was a solution, but the linear combination was not a solution. Okay. Now next what we saw what is meant by linearly independent function. Okay. y1 and y2 are linearly independent. If we divide one by the other, it should not yield a real number. It should yield some functions. Okay, we saw that here. Next we saw what is a basis of general solution for a homogeneous differential equation. So if there is a differential equation, to form a basis we need two linearly independent solutions, and the linear combination of two linearly independent solutions forms the general solutions, and these linearly independent solutions which forms the general solutions are called the basis of a general solution. Simple. Next, what did we see? How to obtain a basis if one solution is known, and the method was reduction of order. We are going to do that just this one. Okay, so let us go further. Let us see. Now here we have said y1 is a solution, correct? y1 is a solution. What does that mean? If y1 is a solution, if y1 is a solution, then what happens? y1 double dash plus p y1 dash plus q y1 is equal to 0. Agreed? Agreed, students? If y1 is a solution, then y1 double dash plus, I'm sorry, you are not able to see this, is it not? I'm sorry. So, okay, since y1 is a solution, then y1 double dash plus p y1 dash plus q y1 is equal to 0. Correct, students? Fine, that's clear. Next, what did we say? We said y2 is equal to u into y1 is also a solution. Correct? Is also a solution. So what happens? What is y2 dash? Let us see. What is y2 dash? y2 dash is u dash into y1 plus u into y1 dash. Correct? What is y2 double dash? y2 double dash would be u double dash y1 plus u dash y1 dash plus, here let us come, u dash into y1 dash plus u y1 double dash. Correct? So this would be u double dash into y1 plus 2 times u dash y1 dash plus u into y1 double dash. Correct? So let us substitute in equation 2. Okay, so since so what happens, this we will substitute here. So since y2 double dash plus P into y2 dash plus Q into y2 is equal to 0. Let us substitute that. So here y2 double dash is what? U double dash y1 plus 2 times U dash y1 dash plus U y1 double dash, correct? And here plus P into, okay, P into y2 double dash. What is y2 dash? Y2 dash is what? U dash y1 plus U y1 dash, correct, plus Q into U into y1, correct, because y2 is U into y1 is equal to 0, correct students? Now let us simplify this. How we can do that? Let us take first of all U double dash into y1. Only one thing is there, U double dash. Now plus, let us take U dash outside. If you take U dash, you will see here that there is a, if I consider this U dash, you can see here, okay, 2 y1 is there, 2 y1 dash is there, correct? And then we have taken U dash outside plus P y1 is there, correct? So that is what comes outside. I'm going slow, students, just see it, okay? Then plus what is remaining, let us take. We have U here. What is U here? U comes as y1 double dash P into y1 dash plus Q into y1 is equal to 0. Agreed, students? Can you see below here? If I write it here, can you see, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now next thing what we can do is, we can see here this goes to 0, is it not? This particular thing is 0, is it not? Why? Because y1 double dash plus p y1 dash plus q y1 is equal to 0 is given here already. So this goes to 0. So this particular thing is going to 0. So that is why you can write this as u double dash y1 plus u dash into 2 y1 dash plus p y1 is equal to 0. Let us have till here. Next step we will do next. Okay. Write this down and understand it right. Tell me when you finish writing.
Sir, that part of it, since y2 double dash is equal to that y2 one
Why
after
to
since,
after?
because after since y2 double dash that equation is equal to 0, that how we got?
Because y2
Is
is
it
also a
because
solution.
solution? Okay, okay.
We are trying such a way that y2 is a solution.
Okay, okay.
Take time, it will sink in, students. Done, students? Tell me when you're finished. Anil, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good.
Written, sir.
Done. Next. If anybody has problem when I go to the next one, you have to stop me, okay? So now what has happened? We have got from the last one y1 into u double dash plus u dash into 2 y1 dash plus u dash into 2 y1 dash plus p y1 was equal to 0, correct? So let us have this as u double dash plus u dash into 2 y1 dash plus p y1 divided by y1 is equal to 0. Okay. Next, let us substitute. Let u is equal to u dash. If I do that, then what happens? This becomes capital U dash. This is small u. Okay. Plus u is u into 2 times y1 dash by y1 plus p is equal to 0. Okay. Now let us go further. Now this can be written as, if I take this thing other side, I can write this as du, correct? Du, if I say du by dx, du by dx, u dash is du by dx, correct, is equal to minus of u into 2 y1 dash divided by y1 plus p. Is it not? Now separation of variables, I can say du, d capital U by u capital U is equal to minus of 2 y1 dash divided by y1 plus p into dx. Write this down, students. Like next we will see later on. Okay, right till here. I hope you have understood this. Step by step, very slow. Okay. Tell me if you have not understood till here. Any point, any step. Finished, students? Done? Divyaraj?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, fine. Okay. Now, here what we have got? We have got du by, sorry, I'll write it a bit below. So what we have got? We have got du by u is equal to minus of 2 y1 dash by y1 plus p into dx, correct? Now let us integrate. Okay, integrate. If I integrate, what happens? Integrate. When you integrate du by u, you get log of u, correct? Because integration of dx by x is equal to log x. X can be anything, correct? So similarly, du by u is equal to log x, okay, is equal to minus. Here you see y dash by y. It's similar to dx by x, is it not? So this will become minus 2 into log of, see, whenever you take log, you have to take a what do you say, modulus here, because log cannot be of a negative number, correct? So minus 2 log of, I will say, modulus of y1, correct, minus here integration of p dx, correct? Now what we will do, we will take exponents, okay, take exponents on both sides, take exponents on both sides. If we take exponents on both sides, we will get u is equal to 1 by y1 square, okay, into e power minus integration of p dx. Agreed, students? Agreed? Now this, from here to here, people might have some trouble. Try to get that. If you don't have, then it's very good. Yesterday's logarithms, although it is incomplete, it'll help. Today we are not facing any problem with the speed, is it not, students?
No, sir, no problem.
Yeah.
So just one question, sir. Why LAN instead of log, sir?
We could have taken, no, what happens is always this comes as log only, LAN only. Integration of dx by x is LAN. You know why? I'll tell you. See, what happens is, what is dx by x when you take, okay? It is integration of, I'll put it in the next slide. Let me complete this. Then the next I'll tell you. That is why yesterday I had told you one example of how E was taken into consideration. Is it not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. There is another consideration here. Okay, log. Okay, log of x. It is the basic. This is the basic definition of how E comes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, this is a basic definition. Okay, if you take 1 by x function, how 1 by x function comes? 1 by x function comes like this. Correct? This is 1 by x function. And
Yes, sir.
if I integrate below this, integrate means the area below this, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Area below this will come always as log x. Great?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Correct? Always
Yes.
the integration is between log x. Log x plus a constant here, I'm sorry. Here log x plus constant I have to take, but we have ignored the constants. Okay, when you integrate there is a constant, we have ignored the constants in case of here. Okay, here constants are ignored. See, this basic mathematics is very, very interesting, students. It's very interesting. And using this basic mathematics, the amount of tools we get in our hand and how much it helps in engineering is really, really great. Okay. So here this is not just gate coaching, students, let me tell you. Okay, gate coaching is not this elaborate. Okay, they will give you the options are there. I'm not saying they are not saying concepts at all, but no gate coaching goes into this details and this slow. Okay, so that has to be understood. I go in your pace, students. Okay, fine. Is that clear? U is equal to, yeah, tell me.
When integrating that expression 2 wide y1 dash by y1, we are integrating it with respect to dx, no, sir. How we took it as lan by then.
Okay. Now, if I say, for example, if I take, say, integration of sin x by cos x dx, what is that? Sorry, yeah, sin x by cos x dx. Okay, because cos x by sin x dx. What is that? It is sin x wait a minute, this is when you differentiate sine, you get cos, is it not? When you differentiate sine, you get cos. So you, if you have cos x by sin x, if you have, this is actually equal to log of sin x dx, sin x plus c. I hope it's clear, students. This is the basic differentiation formula. Okay, I hope it's clear.
Sir, y is a function of x only itself.
Y is a
Here
function
y,
of x.
y
Yes,
one
y is a function of x. This may be handy for you, students. Or example, if I have something like this, we have used in homogeneous functions also, where we had, say, x square plus 2x plus 3. Okay, now if I have this like this, okay, so suppose I'll go to the next slide, or let me put it here only. So integration of x square plus 2x plus 3, and here we have 2x plus 2, if I have like this. Okay, now this dx is actually equal to log of x square plus 2x plus 3 plus constant. Is it clear, students? Any doubts here? So that is why this particular thing is coming. So once we get this u, capital U, getting small u is easy, is it not? What is small u? Small u is equal to integration of capital U dx. That's it. Correct? So like this, once we get small u, I can say y2 is equal to small u into y1, because I know y1. So we have found the basis. This is called reduction of order method. Clear, students? Any doubts? Let me go further. Let me tell you how we have got. So what we said, y1 is a solution. Fine. Then we assume y2 is equal to u into y1 is also a solution. So we calculate y2 dash, y2 double dash, and since y2 is a solution, it should satisfy the differential equation. So y2 double dash we substituted this, y2 dash we substituted this, and y2 we substituted this, and this goes to 0. So what happens? We got u double dash y1 plus u dash into 2y1 dash plus py1 is equal to 0. Correct? So now when we went further, we saw that we can have u is equal to u dash. Okay, and then we said u dash, capital U dash is equal to capital U into 2y dash y1 dash by y1 plus p is equal to 0, and we integrate this. Sorry, we put it in this fashion, and then we got this we integrated. Okay, and then we took exponents on both sides. That's it. That's what we have done. And then once we get small capital U, we can always find small u. Is it not? This is capital U, students. Correct? Agree? So what we got? We got y2. Simple. Okay. Now let us take an example. Okay. Example is say a solution. Okay. Example. Solution of x square y double dash minus xy plus y is equal to 0 is y is equal to x. Correct, students? Y is equal to x is a solution of this. Y1 is equal to x. You see this? Y1 is equal to y1 x. When you say, this becomes, okay, solution is this. Okay, find the basis of general solution. Basis of general solution for the given differential equation. Can we do that? So here let us check out. Y1 is x. Is it this one? Because y1 is x, y1 dash is 1, correct? And sorry, this is y1 dash and y dash, I'm sorry. So this is, sorry, this is xy only, I am sorry. Okay, this is x square y double dash minus xy plus y, correct? So here when we take y1 y double dash, I'm sorry, x square y double dash, it should be y dash, students, I'm sorry, it should be y dash, I'm sorry. There is a mistake in the textbook that they have missed this dash. Okay, so yes, it is y dash. Now if you see, y1 is equal to x, y1 dash is equal to 1, correct? So if you substitute here, what comes here? X square into y1 double dash is what? Y1 double dash is 0, correct? Minus x into y1 dash is 1 minus y x, this goes as 0, correct? So that is a solution. Find the other solution, that's it. How to find the other solution? First find out u. What is u? U is equal to 1 by y1 square into e power integration of e power minus integration of p dx. What is p here, students? P is x here, minus x, correct? Why? We have to remember what is the general form. What is the general form? Y double dash plus p y dash plus q y is equal to 0 is the general form. Okay, p can be a function of x, we know that, correct? So here, what is y1? 1 by y1 is x, so x square into e power minus integration of, what is p here, students? P is x, correct? Is it x here? No, it is not x, because we have to reduce this to this form. How do we reduce it to that form? We can write this particular equation as y double dash minus 1 by x into y dash plus y by x square is equal to 0, correct? Then it is of this form, where p is equal to 1 by x and q is equal to 1 by x square, correct? What is p here? 1 by x. So let us have dx by x, correct? So let us get the integration of this. So this will be what? This will be equal to 1 by x square into e power minus log x, correct? So minus log x, when I say, sorry, this is minus x, I'm sorry, this is minus x. So
Minus 1 by x.
yeah, minus 1 by x, I'm sorry, it's minus 1 by x, so this becomes plus x. So now this comes out to be, what is e power log x? It is x only, is it not? What is e power log x? It's x, so it is 1 by x square into x. So what is the answer? 1 by x. So capital U is equal to 1 by x. So finding capital U is not enough. What we have to find out? Small u, which is capital U into dx. Let us do that, and then I will come back here if you have not written this, okay? So now what happens? Small u is equal to integration of capital U dx. So what is capital U? 1 by x dx. And what is this? Log x, correct? So what is my y2? Y2 is equal to u into y1, that is equal to x log x. So what is the general solution? General solution happens to be y1 c1 y1 plus c2 y2 is equal to 0. So what is that? c1 y1 is equal to c1 x plus c2 into x log x is equal to 0 is the general solution. Is it clear, students? So I'll go back. Tell me when you finish writing this. Then I'll go to the next one. You can also check whether x log x is a solution or not. You can substitute and see. You will see it's a solution. If it is not a solution, then we have done some mistakes. Tell me when you finish this, students. Finish writing, students? Please tell me. Don't stop. I know.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Next, write
Yes,
this.
sir.
Write this one.
Yes, sir.
Done? Okay. So we have found it. Okay. Now let us go to the things which is very, very important. You know these things. Okay. So let us go with, and this you'll appreciate. Okay. Till now, whatever you have done, we will, sir is doing something extra, you may feel. Okay. But this one, anybody, it starts from this one, people will feel it so easy. Okay. Second order homogeneous equations. Oh, I'm sorry, you cannot see it here, is it not? Second order homogeneous equations with constant coefficients let us see this. Second order homogeneous equations with constant coefficients. Now constant coefficients, it's not a function of x, is it not? So let us take, okay, the general, the notation for such equations is, or general form you can say, okay, is y double dash plus a y dash plus by is equal to 0. Okay, this is the general notation where a and b are constants. Let us give this equation number 3, students. Okay, where a and b are constants. Now let us assume, let us take y is equal to e power lambda x as a solution. Let us assume, okay, that this is a solution, okay, or let us try, that is better. Let us try, very important, let us try y is equal to e power lambda x as a solution. Let us do that. So if y is equal to e power lambda x, then what is y dash? Y dash would be equal to lambda into e power lambda x, correct? What is y double dash? Y double dash is equal to lambda square into e power lambda x, correct? Now let us substitute this back into 3. So when you substitute back, substitute into 3, correct? Substitute into 3. When you substitute into 3, what you will get is, instead of this you will say lambda square y double dash. So lambda square, I'll write it a bit top, okay? So lambda square into e power lambda x plus a into lambda into e power lambda x plus b into e power lambda x is equal to 0. Is it not? Because y is equal to e power lambda x, I have substituted. Y dash is equal to lambda into e power lambda x, I have substituted here. Y double dash is equal to lambda square into e power lambda x, I have substituted here. Is it not, student? So now what happens, you can cancel lambda x everywhere. It is eaten up away by 0. Okay. So what remains is lambda square plus a lambda plus b is equal to 0. Now if I take a lambda in such a way that it satisfies this equation, if I take a number lambda in such a way that it satisfies this equation, then e power lambda x is a solution of the differential equation. I hope you get that, students. So this one is called the characteristic equation. This is called the characteristic equation. It is also called auxiliary equation. It is also called auxiliary equation. Auxiliary equation or characteristic equation. Okay? Characteristic equation. Yes. It shows the character. Okay, I will tell you much important. This has a wide range of application in vibrations. Okay, because in vibrations what comes is we have this mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to 0. It is of this form where m, c and k are constants. So what happens? This becomes as x double dot plus c by m into x dot plus k by m into x. K by m is omega n square, correct? And what is c by m? 2 zeta into k, is it not? So that comes over here. Okay, we will see that when we go to vibrations. Okay, so it has a very, very important application, students. Later on other professors will also come. I am not the only professor, keep that in mind. It's not possible for one person to take all of the gate, although he can do 1 or 2 times, but not always. I've done it once, okay, but that doesn't mean I can do every time. Okay, it is very, very tiring. Tell me when you finish, students. Finished?
Yes, sir.
Yes, very good. Okay. So now what happens is lambda square plus a lambda plus b is equal to 0 is the thing. So solution of this determines the character of the differential equation. Let us see what is the solution. So if I see the solution of a differential equation, a solution of the characteristic equation, it can be written like this. What is the characteristic equation? The lambda square plus a lambda plus b is equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation. What is solution? Lambda 1 comma 2 is equal to minus a plus or minus square root of a square minus 4b, correct? Am I correct here? Divided by 2. This is what is the solution, correct? So this can be lambda 1 is equal to minus a by 2 plus square root of a square minus 4b divided by 2, and lambda 2 is equal to minus or I can say, yeah, I can say this is equal to minus a by 2. Let me put it like that only. Minus a by 2 minus square root of a square minus 4b by 2. Now what determines is this determinant. What determines the type of solution is this determinant a square minus 4b. Now if square root of a square minus 4b, okay, is equal to a positive number, then okay, then what happens? What are the solutions? Okay, so or I can write it in the other way around. Okay. Now there are three cases here. The case one is when we have a square minus 4b is greater than 0. What we have is two real roots. Case 2 is when a square minus 4b is equal to 0. What we have? A real double root. What is that equal to? That double root is equal to minus a by 2. Here this goes to 0, this goes to 0. So y1 lambda 1 is equal to minus a by 2, lambda 2 is equal to minus a by 2. Okay. Next, case 3. Case 3 is a square minus 4b is less than 0. What do you get, students? A complex conjugate. A complex conjugate roots. Complex conjugate root. Correct? Complex conjugate roots. Correct, students? So these are the three cases. One by one we will see each of the cases. That's it. And then we will see the application of this, students. Very, very important. And this is the basis of almost every engineering, whether it's electrical, whether it's mechanical, whether it's computer science is not a very strong engineering stream. It's a skill stream. Okay. I say core engineering is only electrical, mechanical, civil, chemical. Okay. These are core engineering, I call them. Okay. Aerospace, yes. Computer science is an add-on, it's a tool. So people think that tool you master, it's enough. That's wrong. Where does computer science gets applied? Computer science gets applied in all the engineering fields. Fine? Is that clear, students? Tell me when you finish this off. Be interactive, students.
Done, sir.
Done? Okay. Now let us check it out one by one. First case, case 1, two distinct roots. Case 1, two distinct roots. So when we have two distinct roots, how does the equation come? As simple. y1 is equal to e power lambda 1x and y2 becomes e power lambda 2x. We know these are linearly independent, right? E power, if lambda 1 is not equal to lambda 2, then y1 and y2 are linearly independent. So we can form a general solution. So general solution is given by, you can say y is equal to c1 into e power lambda 1x plus c2 into e power lambda 2x. Simple and straight. Nothing doing here. It's very, very simple. Easy, students. Let us say an example. Solve y double dash plus y dash minus 2y is equal to 0. Now what is the characteristic equation for this? It is lambda square plus lambda minus 2 is equal to 0. Solution of this, what is the solution of this, students? It is you can say minus half plus or minus square root of what is lambda 1 comma 2 is equal to, I can say lambda 1 comma 2 is equal to what is a square 1 minus 4ac plus, okay, 4 times c, that is root of 8, that is 8 divided by 2. So lambda 1 is minus half plus or minus, here you get 9 by 2 which is 3 by 2. So what is lambda 1? Lambda 1 is with plus, so minus half plus 3 by 2 is 1, correct? And what is lambda 2? Lambda 2 comes as minus half minus 3 by 2, that is minus 2. So what is the solution? Solution y is equal to c1 into e power x plus c2 into e power minus 2x is the solution. Easy, direct. What you have to do to find the solution of this? We have to just get the characteristic equation right, find the solution of the characteristic equation and substitute it back into this. That's it. Simple. Any doubts, students? Next, let us see if there is double root, then what happens. You see the way I am going, students, I am going step by step, slowly building up the building up slow and steady. I am building up the concepts. Okay, and I am not doing with a lot of theorems and all those things. It becomes difficult. Okay, we engineers want applications, is it not? If you do a lot of theorems and all those things, and we say in the open set, in the closed set, and all those mathematical definitions, we don't need to that details, correct? We need how it is used, and that much is enough for us. When we have to do research, we will see that later. Correct? Done?
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, fine. Next. Now let us see case 2. I know I am going a bit fast, students. Case 2. Because this has been repeated to you a lot of times in your engineering, right? So I'll going fast has some sense, is it not? So now let us see if it is a real double root. Oh, I'm sorry, you cannot see it here. I'm sorry. So case 2 is a real double root. Real double root. If it is a real double root, then lambda is equal to minus a by 2. Correct? Because other side goes to 0. So now what is the solution? Solution is y1 is equal to e power minus a by 2 into x. We have one solution. How to form the general solution, students? We need to have a basis, is it not? There is no basis here. How to find out the basis? Okay. So here what we have? We have one solution. We have one solution. Okay. Now to form a basis for a general solution, we need another what? To form a basis of a general solution, we need another linearly independent solution. How to find that? We have done that now, is it not? So what is that? U is equal to 1 by y1 square into e power minus integration of px. Correct? What is p here, students? Can you tell me what is p? y1 we know. What is y1? y1 is equal to 1 by e power minus a by 2 into x. Correct? What is p here, students? Can you tell me? If it is a double root. What is p here? A, is it not? Just see, p is a, correct? So here this comes as integration of ax. Correct? So let us go further. Solve this, students, and tell me what is it. y square, is it not? Y square means this becomes square of this, very important, square of this. Now tell me what is u and then tell me what is small u, students. This is by yourself you have to do. Okay, let me solve this. Okay, so this becomes equal to 1 by e power minus ax, and here integration of a dx, sorry, this is p, not px, p dx, I'm sorry, this is a dx. So what happens, this becomes e power minus ax only. So what is u? U is equal to 1, correct? So capital U comes as 1, students. So if capital U is 1, what is small u? Small u is integration of u dx, correct? What is u dx? Now that means u is equal to small x, correct? So this is the another thing, u is equal to small x. So what is y2? Y2 is equal to x into y1, correct? Agreed, students? So here I'll come back. Y2 is equal to x into y1. So what is x? X is there. What is y1? E power minus a by 2 into x. Now what is the general solution? General solution, y is given by e power or c1 into e power minus a by 2 x plus c2 into x into e power minus a by 2 x. Easy. So this can be written as c1 plus c2 x into e power minus a by 2 x. This is the general solution. Easy. So please write down what is the previous one. Okay. Once you finish that, I will come back. Tell me when you finish, students. Finished? Please respond, students. Then this is the second side. Because if you don't write, then it will be a problem.
No, done, sir.
Done? Very good. Okay. Next, let us see. Now when there is a complex root, then the problem comes. Okay, if it is a complex root, how to solve? Okay, so let us take case of complex root. Okay, case 3, complex roots. The last part, then we will stop. Oh, I'm sorry, you cannot see it here, is it not?
In that section we can see, sir.
Huh?
In that section it is visible, sir. A little more above that it won't be visible.
Okay, okay, okay. Case 3, complex roots. Okay, so if you have complex root, how does it come? Okay, we know that first of all, let us understand this. Okay, before going, okay, let us say some basics. Okay, recap of some basics. Okay, so recap of basics, some basics. Okay, so if I have e power ix, we know e power ix can be written as cos x plus I sin x, correct? And e power minus x minus ix, e power minus ix, e power minus ix can be written as cos x minus I sin x, correct? These two things we know. Another things, we can also write cos x as equal to half of e power minus ix, sorry, half of e power ix minus e power minus ix, correct? I can write this. I can also write sin x is equal to 1 by 2 times I into e power ix minus e power minus ix, correct? Correct? These are the 4 equations which we have to know. Done, students? Okay. Another point. Okay. If I have a complex function, for example, e power z, where z is a complex function, this can be written as e power s plus I into t. If I write it like this, this can be written as e power s into e power it, or this can also be written as e power s into cos t plus I sin t. Fine? Simple. All these are basics which you should know before we solve this. Okay. Now here one more point is, fine, it's okay. So we can do that. Is it not, students? Fine. Write this down. These are the basics which we should know. If you know these basics, the rest things can be done. Fine, done. Write it neatly, don't worry. But tell me as soon as you finish, so that we will not waste unnecessary time. That's it. We will spend time, we will not at all waste.
Done, sir.
Done. Very good. Okay. So now next point. Okay. Now if it is a complex root, okay, how it is? Lambda 1 can be given as minus half a plus half into square root of a square minus 4b. Since we know a square minus 4b is a negative root, I can write this as equal to minus half of a plus I divided by 2 into square root of 4b minus a square, correct? Because it's a negative number. A square minus 4b is negative number. So minus 1 I have taken as I here, okay? Or this can be written as minus half a plus I into square root of b minus a square by 4. I can write this. Correct? Can I write this as a square by 4 here? Fine. So this is one thing which I have to know. Okay. So now, similarly, I can write lambda 2 also. What is lambda 2? Lambda 2 is given as minus half a minus I square root of b minus a square by 4. Correct? Easy? Write this down till here. Okay. So now this can be written as lambda 1. I will write it as minus half a into a plus I omega, and I will write lambda 2 is equal to minus half a minus I omega. Omega is the frequency. It has application, students. Where is the application? In vibrations. Okay. So plus I omega minus I omega. I can write it like this. Okay. Now write till here. Then we will go to the next slide. So we are writing a root as a complex number, and there are a lot of places where these complex numbers are used. Even in your control systems, if you have control system, I don't know when is control system for you. Which year control system comes, students, for you? Especially the students with the pre-final year now. Is it over now?
So control engineering, right?
Control engineering, yes.
4th year, sir.
4th year. Okay, in that this is very useful. Okay, there is something called root locus plots. Okay, so how does a root go from one place to the other, and how it contributes to the stability of the system is important. These are all very important concepts, students. Very, very, very important. This control engineering has a lot of names. Control systems engineering, they say. Then they say control systems, or they will call it process controls. Like that, a lot of things are there. In chemical engineering, the same thing is called process control. It's important in mechanical, chemical, aerospace, yeah, everywhere it is used. Electrical, obviously, electrical is very important. But the major portion, control system theory, has come from chemical engineering. FEM has come from civil engineering.
Done, sir.
Yes. Now let us go further. Okay. So now let us have this. So if I have e power lambda 1 into x, if I write this I can write it as e power minus a by 2 into x plus I omega x. Correct? So I can write this as equal to e power minus a by 2x, then e power I omega x is there. I can write this as cos omega x plus I sin omega x. Fine. Another side, if I write e power lambda 2x, I can write this as e power minus a by 2x minus I omega x. I can write this as e power minus a by 2x into cos omega x minus I sin omega x. Correct? So now what we will do, this is equation 1, this is equation 2, let us say. Okay. Now we can see here in if these are the two solutions, okay, the addition of these two is also a solution. The subtraction of these two is also a solution. Linear combination is a solution, is it not? So basis can be formed anyhow. So let us take it. Okay. Now add these two, add 1 and 2 and divide by 2. what we are doing, that is 1 plus 2 divided by 2. That's what we are doing. So when you do that, what you get is y1, we will get this as y1. If I say y1, okay, this together I'll call it y1. Okay, we are adding, then we are dividing by 2. When you add, you see this part and this part gets cancelled. So what remains is e power minus ax by 2 into cos omega x. Now next, subtract from these two. Okay, subtract 2 from 1. So what do you get? And divide by 2. And divide by 2. That is what we are doing, 1 minus 2 divided by 2. When we do this, we will get, and divide by 2i, not 2, I'm sorry, it is divided by 2i, because I is a number. Okay, you can divide by number also, correct? So divide by 2i. If I do, I will get y2 is equal to e power minus ax by 2 into sine omega x. Easy. So we got two solutions of the differential equation, which is nothing but which are linearly independent. So these forms the basis. Simple. Easy. Yeah, write this down, students, and form this general solution. Let us see. Yeah, students, form the general solution from this. Yeah, once you do this, tell me. Once you finish writing, you tell me. Finish, students, writing? Right.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Very. Okay. Be fast in writing also. Okay. But think also. So what happens? We have y1 is equal to e power minus a by 2 cos omega x, and y2 is equal to e power minus a by 2 x. I'm sorry, I missed the x here. Minus a by 2 x. Okay, into sine omega x. So what is the general solution? General solution becomes y is equal to e power minus ax by 2 into a cos omega x plus b sine omega x. This is the general solution if the root is complex. What is omega? Omega is given by square root of b minus a square by 4, correct? That is what is the thing, right? So it is b minus a square by 4 is the omega, that is the frequency. Okay, right. Now next we will see what is the application of that, then we will stop. Write this down, students. Once you finish writing, you have to tell me that you have finished writing. Writing.
Done, sir.
Yes, very good. Okay. So now let us see the application of this. So how have we done, students? We have found the roots in three ways. One is a simple root, or we can say distinct roots, equal roots, and complex roots. Any system can be represented by a dynamical system, or it can be represented as a differential equation. So since it can be represented as a differential equation, it will have some roots. So now if I see the roots in the complex plane, that is Argand diagram, if I see, you have the if I say z is equal to x plus iy, okay, the complex plane, okay, then this would be x, this would be real plane, correct? This would be real, and y is a complex, this is a complex axis. Now if it is a real one, it might be either here or it might be here. The roots may fall somewhere here, is it not? If it is complex, it deviates from the place, okay. Now when you say distinct roots or equal roots, this comes in the same category, okay. Now in case, what will happen, I will tell you. Now if I have a system which is very complex system, okay, say for example I have a spring and a mass and a damper, okay, and a number of them here, okay, and then I have a base like this, okay. Now I give a small deviation to that, I tap it, okay. Now how will this complex system behave is important, okay. Now the roots, it depends on the characteristic equation of the system, okay. Now in the system, if the roots of the equation, after applying everything, the roots are distinct roots or equal roots, okay, it has two categories. Now how it comes, I will tell you. There may be, this is time axis and this is response axis, I will tell you, okay. So if I make a response, if I make a small response, they call it generally a delta function, a small function we have, okay, it's called delta Dirac function, where you just hit it, just like hit with a hammer, and then see what happens, okay. Once you do that, if the roots of this system falls on the negative side of the real axis, then what happens, the system at once excites and then comes down like this. If the roots are on the other direction, then what happens, once you excite, if it's positive roots, once you excite, it will continuously increase. Why? Because y is equal to e power lambda x. Think lambda is positive, what happens, exponentially increases. Possible, like your bomb blast. If you say a bomb blast, what happens, exponentially increases. Or a uranium fission reaction, exponentially increases, okay. Now second case, if it is complex, it can be either here or here, It can be either here or here. Now when it is complex, what is the way it is happening? There is oscillation when it is complex roots. There is oscillation. Okay. If it is on the complex plane, then the oscillation will have equal amplitude. It will not reduce. The amplitude is the same. This is without damping. This stands for undamped natural vibrations. Okay. It stands for undamped natural vibration. Okay. Now this doesn't have any real roots. Okay. Now either it is here or here, depends on what is the phase difference. Complex root comes always in conjugates. It doesn't come just like that. It comes as conjugate. Okay. So now if it is a complex conjugate with positive roots, if it is a complex conjugate with positive roots, then what happens? If it is a complex conjugate with positive real part, then what happens? It oscillates, but the oscillating frequency continuously increases. If it is on the negative real axis, complex conjugate with negative real axis, then what happens? Your oscillation keeps on reducing. I hope you get the point, students. It is like this. Okay, it comes to, it's underdamped. Okay, this is underdamped. This is yeah, you can say the slightly underdamped. Okay, overdamped comes in this direction. Okay, fine. Not overdamped, I'm sorry, it's not overdamped. Overdamped means it is directly coming to the real axis. Okay, overdamped is over here. Okay, fine. Is it clear, students? This part is unstable part. It's unstable. Nyquist stability and all those things come later on. I hope you get that, students. Any doubts here?